What's up, y'all? We are back for episode 9 of Bad Boys. This episode was kind of dragging. Um, but I mean, I got through it. It was hard, but happy Father's Day if you are a father watching this. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below. Y'all know what to do, and let's go ahead. Let's not waste no time because I'm trying to get it done. All right, so we get back from the aftermath of Darrell and Carry On. And like I said at the end of last week, Darrell got him, got over, got a good hit in. We ain't see it, but I'm pretty sure he did. I just know he did. But he was sitting there saying like he was letting shit slide because he had heard Carry On sitting there talking shit to Natalie about them, basically him. And he let it go on for 3 minutes and then he pounced because it's like you still sitting here running your mouth. So at this point, I know you're not gonna do nothing, so I'm gonna do it. Because like if you sitting here and I see and completely understand where Rails is coming from. Like if you're gonna keep popping it and get up and do something. And if you're not gonna do nothing, then shut up. Like, and if you're not gonna shut up, I'm gonna get up and shut you up. And that's basically what he did because he did not say nothing else after he did that. But Carry On was sitting there acting like him talking to Natalie meant that he was so above being touched or whatever. And it's just like he was acting so delusional too. Like you sitting there acting like you did not do anything to warrant getting hit. Like you was sitting there talking about him out loud, like literally talking and taking shots, thinking he wasn't gonna catch it. Like he literally caught everything that you was doing and retaliated. You got what you wanted. You was sitting there saying all that stuff, antagonizing him. I guess he didn't think that Rose was gonna get up and do something, but that's what happens. So after that, they start getting in the vibe. They start trying to hype each other up to go ahead and get in the studio and lay something down. And Mo City's sitting there talking about vibing or whatever, not forcing the music, just let the stuff flow or whatever. So they get to the studio. Nobody's feeling it. Everybody's not liking the studio. They just saying it's not a vibe. It's not what they were expecting. So they get in there. Prince is sitting here stating that he's an artist and he's thinking that this song could blow up and it could jumpstart his career. Don't know why you thinking that. Like, it's not gonna happen. Granted, like he's probably thinking like how Jocelyn's song, the birthday song, or the B-Day song, how that kind of did some viral stuff. It went viral. People was talking about it, but it didn't do nothing for Jocelyn because Jocelyn's not really, she's not an artist that you're gonna be really buying her music. Like, and she's not good. If you want to keep it real, she's not a great artist. Jocelyn is Jocelyn. And people love Jocelyn because of who Jocelyn is and how crazy and entertaining she is. As an artist, ain't nobody buying her music. And if they are, they doing it to laugh at her. Like you already know, everybody laughs at Jocelyn when it comes to music. They're not laughing with her. But he's taking this a lot more serious than the rest of these dudes. Like nobody is taking this nearly as serious as he is. But Carry On gets in there talking about how it's not normal creative protocol to get attacked before coming to the studio. So he's sitting outside talking to the producer, frustrated because he got touched. And he's saying, like, why are you attacking him? Like he didn't, like you sitting here acting like you didn't antagonize it. Like you was sitting there literally pushing the point and trying your best to get Rails to the point where he does attack you. And it's just like in this moment, I'm just like, you delusional. Like, are you serious? Like you sitting here acting like you just got attacked for no reason. You were sitting there saying things, taking shots at him that would apply to him, calling him flamboyant and stuff and saying that he's twerking and stuff. He's the only one in the house to do that. So of course he's gonna feel that as a shot. And of course he's gonna do something about it because clearly you sitting here just running it. Like he said, just running it the whole time. So I was so confused as to why he was so confused that he got attacked. But Mo City and Orlando, they come out, they try to talk him out of it. Mo City's still sitting there saying like, you took it to the point where he was literally sitting here trying to give you compliments. And you took it as that and just completely looked over that. And Carry On was saying like he gave little compliments, but the majority of it was insults or whatever, just stupid. But it got to the point where he was claiming that he don't really be mad whenever this stuff be happening. Lies. Like you was mad, like you were tight the whole time. That's why you got on the phone, was popping it with Natalie. But he ends up hugging it out and then going inside. So Carry On and Darrell, they ended up shaking it out as well. And Relly was saying like Carry On was sitting there yelling for no reason, talking shit. And Carry On is sitting here claiming he wasn't talking shit. And I'm like, what is he like? What's going on? Like, he's talking about he needs to sit down and figure out what's going on with Rails. Somebody need to figure out what's going on with you, because are you delusional or are you purposely doing this on purpose? Because I'm like, how are you confused about the shit that you did that led Rails to do what he did? Like that threw me completely. But Jonathan ends up making them hug it out. They sitting in there wasting time, not recording anything, and Prince is getting annoyed. Natalie shows up, screaming and stuff, hyping him up. They start playing around, freestyling on the mic. Who came up with that hook? I think it was Relly that came up with that hook. The hook was kind of catchy. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was catchy. I ain't gonna say it was great, but it was definitely catchy. They start passing the mic around, trying to freestyle or whatever. And Prince, the so-called artist, is sitting here acting like they not putting nothing down, but I didn't even hear him, who is the so-called artist that he keeps proclaiming. He didn't even get on the mic. Everybody else was on the mic spitting stuff, and he was the one that didn't get on it, but he was the one that got so much to say. I'm like, make it make sense, dude. He's sitting there talking about the hook was trash, and because it was specific to Texas, and he's saying like, if we want to make this thing really go viral and have some motion, we need to make it something that's like a brand or whatever, instead of just making it specific to Texas. And I'm like, dude, like, it's not that serious. You acting like you're trying to get a Grammy off of this, and it's not gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna happen. But the next scene, it's the next day. Prince and Rails, they in the room, and Rails is packing up his stuff because somebody, a friend of his, had tried to commit you know what, and he's going home to go check up on him and whatever and see what's going on. Carry On ends up coming in because Prince had called him in, and he's sitting there trying to act like he understands what's going on. Darrell ends up filling him in on the friend trying to take herself out, and saying like, that's what I was telling you the other night. Like, you were sitting there trying to act like you don't know what's going on in my life, sitting here acting like I'm just doing stuff for no reason. And he was saying like, this is the type of stuff that I was talking about. Like, you don't understand what I'm going through. Carry On saying, well, he empathizes about it because he had tried to do the same thing to himself when he was 19 years old, yada, yada, yada. Darrell ends up saying that he's going to leave, but he's coming back. Whatever, they hug him out because he was asking for a hug. And then the next scene, we get Raz B in Orlando. So they're outside, and Orlando says that they had breakfast or whatever, talking about how Raz B wanted to do a show or whatever for the Bad Boys and whatever. And he started flipping out. Raz B is performing his ass off. Like, he is doing hashtag too much, like doing the most. He's sitting there going off, apparently kind of pressing Orlando. And Orlando said he was about to slap the shit out of Raz because of the way that he was walking up on him. And Raz B is sitting here screaming in the cameras, trying to act hard, throwing chairs and shit, like just doing the most. Talking about they Bloods and Crips and all this. I'm like, what are y'all doing trying to flex like this? But it's really Raz B really trying to flex the most. And Jonathan is sitting here watching it with his wig on. Jonathan is sitting there watching it, seeing Raz and saying that Raz B is picking on Orlando or whatever. So he comes outside and checks it. Like, why are you sitting here screaming at him? Why are you yelling at him? Raz B said, yelling. Jonathan said, yelling. That was funny. But it's so funny because the way Jonathan checked him, Raz B kind of stood down. He kind of like calmed down a little bit and saying like, nah, we just bros and whatever. Da, da, da. That's my little bro. And I'm just like, then what are you doing? Like, why are you trying so hard to make it's like, that's the part that was so hard about this episode. You could tell the majority of it was like some forced reality TV moments. And Raz B even said it halfway through it that it's some TV shit, which we clearly saw. And I was like, they sitting here acting like they acting their ass off. So the next thing we got Orlando, Banga, Adonis, and Prince. They sitting out recapping the studio session, whatever. Orlando's asking Prince how he felt about the verse that Orlando had wrote. And his tune completely switched because Prince was mad the night before saying the shit was trash. And now he's saying, oh, he liked it and whatever, and saying that he was vibing with it. I was like, okay, yeah, like you just switching and going with the wind. But Prince and Raz B start getting into it because Raz B apparently is sitting here saying that he gonna pop somebody if they touch them, aka pop somebody. Now Prince is getting tough. He's sitting here saying like, if you gonna pop him, basically saying if you gonna me, you better me. And at that moment, because Prince was sitting there trying to act tough, and it's like, it's funny because he acting tough with the one that he knows for a fact he probably can whoop. which I found funny, but he was right in that moment because I always say that if you're gonna do something to me, you better make sure you really take me out. Because when I get up, it's a wrap. Like I'm doing whatever I want to do. Um, but Raspy's still sitting here trying to act tough, threatening the cameraman, telling him to get the camera out his face, doing all this stuff, saying it's TV shit. And I'm like, yeah, clearly we know it's TV shit. So the next thing they ended up getting on the bus. And I'm just running through it. Like, as y'all can tell, it's not much really going on. So I'm just trying to run through it. And I don't really have much to say, but I'm trying to say a little bit to elaborate. But they get on the bus to go to another studio. Raz B is on the bus, still acting out, acting a fool. Everybody is getting sick of him. Like nobody's feeling it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Adonis is pretty much voicing how he's saying how he's weird and acting weird, turning up for the cameras, saying that he will actually him. And what he was saying in that moment is kind of how we talk, like he said, in the South. Certain things that we say, we don't necessarily mean it as such, saying that you're going M-U-R-D-E-R. I had to make sure I spelled it right. Saying that you're going to do that to somebody is not necessarily mean you're going to actually do that. You talking about I'm going to beat you so bad that you're going to feel like you got, you know what. And that's what he was saying, but Raspy took it in another way, saying like, you don't know who you're talking to, da-da-da-da. He gets off the bus, popping it. So Raspy's got something in his pocket or whatever. And apparently we find out later on that it actually is a pocket knife. And security's trying to get it from him. And Raspy's like, ain't nobody gonna be sitting here threatening me. You think I'm not gonna do nothing about it. So they trying to get it. Raspy ends up getting back on the bus talking about don't threaten me. We all got niggas, like we got people like that can really ride for us like that. Sitting here trying to act tough the whole time. That's just the whole thing that he's doing. That's his theme the entire episode, trying to act tough. And nobody's buying it. They ain't moved by it at all. And he gets on the bus saying he ain't scared of nobody, trying to go to the back of the bus, but they stop him and he gets back off the bus. Production ends up making him get into another car and ride along. So they on the bus and they're talking about how weird he acted and talking about how Darrell had ended up leaving because his friend had tried to commit you know what. And Prince is saying that he had contemplated doing it sometimes in the past, saying that he would have actually went through with it if he wasn't scared of pain. So this is just a common theme, which we all know is a common theme that goes on in everybody's life. That's nothing to take lightly. That is some serious shit. And if you are thinking about that, please talk to somebody before doing that. Hopefully y'all watching this are not thinking of doing that. But if you are, like I said, go talk to somebody before you even think about trying to complete it. But yeah, and then Prince starts talking about how the music and whatever, saying that he was not as mad as he was coming off as, which I call bullshit on. But he was saying that he just wanted the music to basically have some longevity. Like he wants it to be something that's going to go for a period of time and not just be something for the moment or whatever, thinking that people are just going to laugh and just do what they do with Jocelyn's music, which that's exactly what's going to happen. Like if you think this is going to go somewhere, you really delusional. But the last thing, they ended up getting to the studio. They all like this one a lot better. Raspy is outside, getting ready to come inside, still acting a fool. Comes inside, popping shit, still. Gets upstairs, Jonathan is there, and he's sitting there popping it, still talking about he gonna do something, he gonna swing on people, yada yada yada. And Jonathan punches the absolute shit out of this nigga. When I tell you, he punched him so hard he fell back. That cracked me all the way up. Jonathan's a fool, man. But he ends up, I guess, whipping out a knife, and Prince is screaming, he got a knife, he got a knife. And that's where it ends. So next week they are on his case still. So it's everybody against Raspy from this point on. And in this moment, last week I was thinking, okay, what could possibly happen to where everybody's on him? And I'm like, I'm hoping this ain't some like gang mentality. But he's doing it to himself, so I can't be mad at him. Like the people that are going at him have a reason to go at him. But they in the studio, they pretty much trying to lay some stuff down. Mo City and Prince, the two self-proclaimed artists, whatever they laying down does not sound anywhere near average for them to be talking about how seasoned of artists they are. So that was a little embarrassing to me. But yeah, and then they still tripping over Raspy. They go to the club and Jonathan socks the shit out of Raspy again in the club. So that's what we got to look forward to next week. This is episode 9. I hope to God we are almost done. Episode 10, let's wrap it up. I wonder if they're getting a reunion. If they do, that should just be one part only. But let me know what y'all think. Drop the comments down below. Subscribe if you have not already. If you have, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below. Please drop the comments down below if you do have something to say. I know it's pretty tough talking about this show now because not too much to really talk about. But yeah, keep it moving, keep the motion going. Like I said, we're on the way to 2,000. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below. If you're looking for the Baddies East auditions, I'm not gonna do that this week or next week, if depending on how they're doing their rollout. Whenever it's done, me and Movie Bay are going to probably do a collab. I don't know if it's gonna be on my page or her page, but subscribe to her if you have not already. We're gonna do a collab if we do. I don't know if we're gonna do it, but we might do it. Depends on how this is. But yeah, I'll see y'all then. See y'all next week. Peace.